Yo, before the start of this video, can you please go follow the Twitch channel? The link will be in the description. I am starting to do segmented streams where I do YouTube videos pretty much on the stream itself. I really appreciate it and it will help a lot. Thank you and enjoy the video. So today's video is going to be about playing with intent, and this is all fighting. This is literally all fighting games. I just think DBFZ is a really good example because I feel like this game's a game that it can lead to autopiloting a lot. I think more or less more than other games, and I don't really know why. Maybe because stuff like that, right? I guess, you know, this beautiful thing. Nah, I'm joking, but I don't know. I feel like at least when I go back and play, not go back, but when I try new games, I feel like I autopilot a lot less in those games than I do in Dragon Ball. So this video is going to be pretty much how to, you can't really eliminate it 100% of the time because that requires like a lot of focus, and everybody like autopilots every now and again. But how I'm going to go about checking myself like in mid-match, see if I'm autopiloting, because you can kind of tell when you're autopiloting. You like do really, I guess you could say, telegraphed. I guess you do like stuff that you would do all the time, and then a big portion, not a big portion, but a big effect of autopiloting is that if you go against somebody that freaking adapts to it, I don't know about y'all, but I get really freaking tilted, and I don't know why. I don't know if it's tilted at myself or it's tilted at them. I don't know, but I think you can really just avoid it if you come into the game with a mindset that you want to improve at being able to focus in the game more. And it does take a lot of work. I'm not even gonna lie. I'm still like not bad at it. I'm getting better with it, but it takes a lot of focus. So it definitely could be kind of hard to focus, especially in like an online environment. But I feel like focusing just like it really helps. If you practice now, you'll be very good at it in the future. I think the first way that I would go about starting to change how I play into me focusing more and autopiloting less is something I actually picked up from a couple games I've been playing recently. I don't stream it, but I've been playing Melee and stuff. Melee, Grand Blue, Street Fighter. And one of the things a lot of people say in those is that you have to observe your opponent. I really don't do that in DBFZ, and I don't think a lot of people do, honestly. And it can lead to them doing just the autopilot things, like just doing like this all day, you know what I mean? Like doing this without a purpose. Like doing this is good, obviously. It's just like the character, it's one of his best things. But you don't want to do it super habitually to the fact that this can get easily read. When stuff like this gets read, and then somebody like, for example, I don't recommend it, but somebody like super dashes at you and actually hits you, it's usually because your pattern with it is like really telegraphed, and they will just call you out immediately, because this is generally safe. Like just doing this, you usually can't get punished unless they like super dash while you're like up here. But if that's happened to you a lot, like if you're playing base Vegeta, most of the time is you're being really predictable. Other times they just call you out and they just read you. But if your opponent sees you doing this like a lot, they're just like, okay, they're not just gonna take it, right? They're gonna do something about it. So what you can do is, like I said, you can observe them more. What you can do is you can see how do they want to deal with certain options. That's one of the first things you can do. So instead of this just being like, if you ask like 10 like mid-level base Vegeta players, they would say, you ask them why are you doing this, and they'll probably be saying to like, I just want to hit them, right? I just want to like use this and get in. Like they don't look at their tools as like what they are, like super in depth. They're just saying I'm gonna do this, and that goes in with the observation thing. So you're like, if I do this, what is he gonna do, right? And we can just think like, what does backdash JS do, right? It can hit assists, it can freaking, it locks him in place from full screen, covers his diagonal angle, kind of shallow, this angle, the way I'm throwing it now. Obviously you can do shit like this, but The way I'm throwing it now, it's kind of shallow, so it looks like it's covering any immediate ground approaches. You would really have to call it out if you want to stop him and catch the blind spot. So this is like, this might be his safest JS, honestly. It might be. I feel like this is definitely safer than like this. Well, this might be the same, but this definitely the safest JS. I feel like this is definitely like a JS that you use to check or to observe. So this is actually the perfect move. So you'd be like, you shoot this and be like, okay, what is he gonna do, right? So you can see that if they respect what you do after JS, you can come up with a game plan around that. So you'd be like, okay, I'm a JS and run up, or a JS and then dash jump. I can JS and then I will do 5S. I can JS and then do 236M or something like that. If you know they're not trying to move or something afterwards, you can do something like that. But it was a little base Jita thing. If you know they want to move, you can jail them with this move. So it's like, this character has a lot of like shit like that. But yeah, that's just like with base Jita, he can like check movement really good, which is kind of crazy because he has this shit to like check stuff, and then randomly you can just be like pop. But back to the topic, but yeah, like just you thinking like this is just simple. It's like you do JS and see what he does afterwards. That's like you're already observing how they want to deal with your character's tools, and that's really strong. Like that's a really strong trait to have, and I feel like all the high level players, even if some of them do say like they just kind of do stuff, they do take note of what you do after certain moves and stuff. Something else that can help you start playing with intent is I like to lab out situations. So what I mean by that, it's kind of like the JS thing. It's like if they do this option, what do you'll have a set of options for that. If they jump, you have a set of options for that. You know what I mean? So you building these, it's kind of like you're flow charting a bit, but this does take focus though. Like you can't just like autopilot and do this, because you have to look at what they're going to do or what they like to do, and they'll always mix it up. And you also have to look at if a certain option doesn't work, or if they somehow like moved around it or like avoided it a certain way. You have to take that into account. It's always like things that you really do have to think about, even in high-paced games like this. Like I do think like thinking in slower games is easier for me, but it's still like hard to do. It's not easy. If it was easy, everybody could do it. But that's why I think it's really important to train the skill, because if you can do it, you'll have like an edge over a lot of people, because they really haven't thought about improvement in this way. Mainly just like combos and shit. That's what they entail as improvement, which it is to an extent, but that's not like all this game is. But I digress. I'll say the last way into starting to play with intent is to look at, you know, like high level VODs and try and deduct why do they do the things they do, right? That's my favorite thing. You can see people's kind of personality come out when they play, and it's really interesting. So like for example, I study like Sonic a lot. I think their post Super Dash game is so fucking like really thought out. They're like always RPSing afterwards, and it's like, I mean, it's good shit because this game has a lot of those situations, and since they know that, they were able to find ways to not only like apply pressure with Super Dash, but they could win after after the situations that Super Dash presents. And we all know that that's one of the things you literally have to play around in this game because it exists. It's like no avoiding it. So it's like when you see things like that, you can see players fully embracing like the system mechanics, even though like they can be pretty bad to some people. I don't really mind them in this game, but obviously if they're in any other game, I'll be like, ah. But yeah, that's pretty much all I have for today. I'm gonna have a lot of stuff to edit out, but it was still pretty fun to come on here and talk about how to stop autopiloting and playing with more intent. And yeah, I still think making these videos is pretty fun. I have to do it more often, but I need to actually come up with a list of topics to because some days I'll be like, damn, I don't even know what to talk about, because I feel like people have talked about everything, but I just gotta dig deep and, you know, just think about stuff more. But thank you for watching, and like I said, can you please go follow the Twitch. It'll be in the description, my Twitter too. And yeah, thank you very, very much, and peace out.